That's really loud. Welcome everybody to another episode of Gregorian Chat. Don't know if you've noticed, we've got a few people with us. So, hi guys.
Hi.
Hi guys. Why don't you all introduce yourselves rather than me going along the list? Say who you are, where you're from.
I'm Ciara and I'm from Hamilton.
I'm Felicity, I'm also from Hamilton / Christchurch, and I don't really know I'm here.
I'm Carmela, I'm not from Hamilton or anywhere else, I'm from Auckland. So. Where are you?
They already know I am.
They already know Shana is.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Shana. That's Valia.
That's the other dog.
Valia Music. Valia Music.
Not Valia the rapper.
Not the rap.
Yes, search on Spotify for Valère Music. Some good stuff coming on there. But today we're going. We've got all these women here for the purpose of talking about
Single blessing. Being single.
about
The blessing of being single.
the blessing of being single.
Yeah.
It's like basically it's like kind of like how to be single, right?
Yeah, but not like the movie.
Yeah, it's
Is there
a
a
better.
movie?
Yeah.
It's a Catholic version.
A bit of.
It's like how to live an abundant single life.
Yeah.
How to
To
live
thrive
an
in your
abundant single life.
Yes.
That's a better title.
I know.
Hopefully it's real.
How to be single better, I think.
Amazing.
We might call that.
Yeah.
A better way of how to be single. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be talking about that. We don't have any tea because we only get a small sample and there's too many of us. So, also, I didn't get any. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about how to live an abundant single life. And the reason we have so many women here is because I thought I'd get a woman's perspective. Usually it's two guys giving this podcast. Why not change it up a bit? From all around New
We're
Zealand.
just gonna take over now.
Yeah? Well, yeah, start with Shana.
Next week, you won't even.
Yeah, I won't even be here.
Also, neither of you are single.
Yeah, no, are single. None of the doms from this podcast are single. Yeah, because when Shana actually mentions it, I was kind of like, what am I going to say in this whole podcast? You know? I mean, I was single once.
Can't relate.
Sorry, it's just...
We get it. We get it.
Anyway, so yeah, Carmela's gave a talk the other day about this.
Yeah, yesterday. So I got asked to talk at a vocations day at St. Dominic's out west, and we just talked about St. Dominic's, and we talked about just the ups and downs of what it means to live as a single person, but it's not like being consecrated or anything. We clarified that it's like the single blessed being the transitional phase, since you don't kind of know yet where you're being called to. So the experiences you have there as a woman, and also kind of like how we can live a life of purpose while we're still single.
Right, yeah. So basically it's like, what's the point of being single? Kind of thing. It's like in the Catholic Church, it's like you've got your options are priesthood, religious life, or marriage.
Yeah.
So what happens before that? You know, you got what's going on.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you think about that? Right on the spot.
I'm single.
Yeah.
Let's put it up.
I'm excited to see what Carmela has to tell me.
If you guys,
I think it's important because I feel like, especially for single people, they have to understand that there is a place for them in the church too. You know, I know there's these bigger vocations of, like you said, priesthood, marriage, and like the religious life, but it's like what you do, I guess, like before then or while you're still single is super important to discern towards those state of lives.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know what for you guys is like, how do you find being single is, and maybe like your ups and downs to it as a woman as well.
I think on that, like, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's really good to address now that like the how it's like kind of a preparation and discernment thing, because sometimes it just feels like you have to be stagnant because you're not like, you feel like you don't fit into any of those like vocations that we talked about. So you feel like you're just kind of not going anywhere until you find that vocation. I think it's cool to actually see it as like a really important phase to like prepare you.
I think you have a lot of time to be, well, like you can be generous with your time as well when you're single. Like sometimes it feels a little bit like you're in limbo, but I think you can give a lot of yourself if you choose to. Just because you.
I think we talked about as well yesterday that it's funny like that people sometimes have a misconception that being single means like you're free to do whatever you want, like that sort of freedom. But like we mentioned like with Father Sherwin yesterday as well, like that freedom is something that you should like always to give to others. Like it's still a vocation at the end of the day. Like every vocation means to give of yourself to like somebody else, whether that might be your partner or to the church or more to Christ in that way. And I think being single, like it's really awesome, like Fliss said, like you have like more of an opportunity and a space to offer much more of yourself and your talents and your gifts to other people, whether that might be in your immediate family or like to wherever the Lord's placed you.
Yeah, and like help other people in their vocations. Like I don't know, I've had quite a few friends that have had babies and stuff, and just being like able to go and help them because I can. Like it's just a really beautiful thing. Like not to be like weighed down, I guess, but just to be able to sort of see their need and help.
Yeah, because like Bishop Barron talks about freedom, and he almost talks about it's a time of like it's an opportunity to refine, and he talks about like Shakespeare or any like great athlete or is big in their field, and like they didn't just go into that field and like freedom isn't just like grabbing the ball and just throwing and see what happens and oh wow, scored a hoop, I must be an amazing basketball player. It's like the freedom comes after the discipline, and I think the difficulty, and I think this comes across in married life a little bit as well, as like when you think of like religious life or priesthood, is very set. It's like okay, this is my life now. I live by this rule of life. I wear these clothes. I do these prayers. But like as a single person, as a married person, you still have that definition of like okay, I'm married to this person. I live in this place with them, and we make decisions together. But as a single person, it's like from that time when I was single, it happened once. I know it's hard to believe. Yeah. But like it's like almost I can go and do anything, and I guess I kind of realized that more once I became married. It's like I can't now just move country, which I did do to get married. I have to, before I make any decisions, I have to be like, okay, is this what I'll talk to my wife about this, see what she thinks, and then before I take a step. And I think so like in your single life, like there is a training for that. You will be a point where you have a superior, be it your spouse or your religious Mother Superior, yeah, or whatever. And I guess like learning those little disciplines for yourself and for God.
I think it's a real good time to like work on your relationship with God in a really unique way, because I guess like you read all these like blessed is she like blog posts and stuff about how like I was with like looking after my kids and stuff, like I wanted to do this prayer but I had to like get them to go to school, etc., which is beautiful. But as a single person, like you can actually have the time to be like, okay, sweet, I can sit down and read the word today or go to adoration or like what I mean, and really invest in that relationship. Go to like Set Free or go to like any other conference. Set Free. And like be able to be open in that way. Because if you're, I guess, say married or you're in religious life, you have heaps of stuff that you have responsibilities that you can't really.
But I think also like your prayer just changes. It's as to what area of life you're in. It's like okay, you're a priest, so you have to do the 6 prayers of the church of the day, or part of this religious, this other religious vocation, which means you have to do these like what they call norms. But in like the married life, your prayer becomes like acts of charity, like doing the dishes or like looking after your spouse when they're ill, or like not being too much of pain when you're ill, and things like that. It's like different acts of charity, and they're just as much prayer as doing a rosary. But I was at a wedding on the weekend, and I was thinking about it, and they were as we were getting married, I thought because when you're at a wedding, it's like it's all about the bride you know, and the groom. So, yeah. But then I was thinking about it, it's like, actually, it's not about the bride, and it's not about the groom either. It's about God. And God has said, this is how you're going to get to heaven, married life. And so I feel like if you look at it from that perspective, you know, it's a completely different, you know, kettle of fish. You're like, oh no, yeah, it's about getting to heaven, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like, what am I doing right now in my current situation, be it single, married, religious, whatever, to get to heaven? I think, you know, our humanity is kind of like always looking for the end game, so I can say, I just need to get there, and then I can do nothing. You know, it's like I just need to finish school and then it's over, and then finish university and then finish the end of the workday, and I can just go home and do nothing. You know, and like that's our humanity speaking, but like in actuality, our religious call is more, you know, what can I do? How can I be busy but for God?
And I think that's the thing though. There's the other spectrum of being single, is that a lot of us, like there's some of us that think that it's like it's not like a great life, like it's just I'm just gonna wait and it won't be like full of life as compared to if we're gonna be married or if we already find what we need to find. But it's like no, like that's the thing though, it's just like we all have a call to holiness and to live in a life of love that God has given us as his children. And it's like even if you're single, you can have that life of purpose and of life. And it's just like it's just discerning and praying heaps about like where the Lord is calling you to be planted and just blooming there, not like focusing too much on I need to do this or I need to find what I have to be later on, like as a married or a religious, or I have to sort out what happens then, because it's like if you focus too much in there, it's like you're failing to focus on where God wants you to focus in now. And it's like, you know, like being single is great. Like I think being single is like amazing. I never see it as like something to like regret, you know. It's not a sad life. It's the total opposite of it. Even if people think well there you go. But like you know, sometimes think that to be happy you need to be with somebody or you need to.
Well, yeah, society definitely promotes that.
Yeah.
You know, what's it like being single, guys? I mean, I don't know. It's just.
It's good.
It's good times now.
That's cool, yeah.
I get it, Dom.
We get it. We're single.
We get it. I think it's awesome, like just to be a gift for other people whenever you can offer yourself. And at the same time, it's also like just you're still growing. I think that's what matters, is like you're still growing no matter if you're single, you're like lonely, because you're never really lonely. Like the Lord gives you community in a different way, whether that may be in sisterhood or just like in community in your ministry and whatnot.
I think sisterhood's been like a real massive thing, especially like as a single woman. I don't know, like being able to catch up with your like gal pals. I've never said that. I've never said that.
Now we said, and it's on camera.
With your spice girls.
Ooh,
all of our 70 subscribers are going to hear that.
Blessed are we. No, it's being able to like, because we just went out to lunch just before and like hanging out and.
Yeah, I wasn't invited.
Because you're married.
Yeah, because single only.
So I'm married and a guy.
You can sit with us.
Like, don't even
Yeah, but I think it's like a really awesome time to build. I don't know. I think I learned a lot about how to be a friend, how to build relationships in like a really kind of authentic way. Like friendships has been really, really important in this season. Like, I don't know, just building that and like keeping that solid and knowing who your friends are and stuff like that, which is cool.
And those kind of good things grow when you like choose to be content with it. That makes sense. Like sometimes you go through, well, I don't know, like sometimes I'll go through phases where I'm like, man, it would be really cool to be in a relationship, or like kind of obsess over that and like try so hard to. No, that's weird. But then kind of in that mindset, I think like, well, if right now I was to find someone, would I love God more than them? Probably not, because right now all I want is someone, not God. And so I think like when you decide to be content with it, you can grow things like your friendships, and obviously you can still do that when you're in a relationship or in another priesthood. But but you can like decide that you're gonna whatever your vocation is.
And then when you find out.
Yeah, we need to think find a
I
vocation
think
start.
it's a good thing to talk about as well, because it's like we can talk about how awesome it is, but to share to people that it's like there are still low moments that we feel as a single person, that there is still like a human longing to be with somebody.
Yeah.
But then it's like rather than that, it's like we're called to redirect that, to always seek God more. But even so, like that's hard. Like it's easier said than done sometimes.
It's kind of cool though, because like I think, like more so when you're single, like when you feel lonely, like you are like drawn to God when you kind of have to turn to God, because sometimes it's like, well, it's not else. So, but it almost forces you to, like. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think like always like in Catholic circles, there's always that pressure of like, oh, so you're single. So convent,
especially in like
really,
families as well, like
priesthood.
family like gatherings, or you've always got aunties that are like,
especially like
still
secular
single.
family,
Yeah.
They're like, why?
It's like, how old are you now? It's like, shut up.
Thanks for reminding. Get it.
When I was your age, shut up, man.
3 children.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there is like there's highs and lows to all points in life, and I think just like the overall Christian kind of teaching on this is like, bring it back to God, like especially in your suffering, and that suffering can be like loneliness, or like, I mean, because I've heard priests say like it's like they've questioned their vocation, like especially diocesan priests who they don't live in a community, so like they're always going home alone. It's like, gosh, it sucks, but they're doing it for a greater calling, and I think that's always something that's so powerful and helpful to remember in your low times of like, we're meant to be in two places in time, and it's never the future, it's never the past. It's eternity and it's the present. And right now I'm in this situation, is be it priest, religious, married, single, and the reason I'm here is because of God who's in eternity, and that's where I'm headed. I'm headed to heaven, and that's where I want to be, and that's where God wants me to be. So how can I do that best? And like I think the one thing I could draw out of what we've been saying is like it's the singlehood is the training ground. It's the formation time. It's the like, okay, what kind of a person am I going to be? What kind of person am I going to bring to a marriage, to a religious order, to the priesthood? And I think that's something to bear in mind as well. Like I heard, I think it was in scripture, don't know, I can't quote chapter and verse, I'm Catholic, so but like it's like God sees what you do in secret, and like initially you're thinking, oh, when you're doing like naughty things, but it's like, no, that's all the time when you're on your own. You're walking the street on your own, nobody else is there, that's secret. It's like, what are you doing in that time? And it's like, so God is always with us, and I think that's comforting and frightening at the same time.
Probably just the right amount.
Yeah. Just like.
I think it's good to note that like being single is like, sometimes people think it's like the waiting time.
Yeah.
But it's like you should, like, in a way, but at the same time you should be active about it, like working on yourself, definitely. And I think especially for women, we always emphasize that it's like it's a time for you to build on yourself and find like healing, especially if there are things that you've gone through in your life. To work so that, for example, as well, if like you said, like if you feel like you're being called to, let's say, a married like vocation.
It's 3 o'clock.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm divine mercy.
Jesus, I trust in you, time. But it's also like a good time to like grow to be the woman that you want for your future spouse as well. It's not just a time to be like, I'm gonna wait for my man. I'm literally just gonna wait and do nothing.
Yeah. Nor is it a time of like, I'm just gonna party until, I'm just gonna go out, get drunk, do whatever I want. Nor is it a time of I'm just gonna sit in the chapel and pray the whole time. It's an active, it's an active waiting. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us, all of you. It's been fantastic. The first time we've had this many people on the podcast. And I hope to have you back soon. And I hope you'll find partners. Or whatever your big thing.
Find contentness in singleness.
Yeah. I didn't know what to help, but anyway.
Follow us on Instagram.
Did you just start saying a phone number?
Valère music. It's a project.
Thanks for listening, guys, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
God bless.
Stop these guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the podcast. I've got good news. It just got a whole lot easier to search for us online.
All you got to do is search Gregorian Chat into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and Player FM for those who are on Android.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you later. God bless.